have color 1, this is appetite, this is the hunter. And if you have color 1 as your digestion or determination, you thrive on consistency and simplicity in diet and experiences. So if it's a left arrow, it's consecutive. And that means eating one food at a time in a sequential manner. Eating a single ingredient or dish per meal and mixing foods can overwhelm your system. So this is like you eat all the carrots first, and then you eat all the potatoes, and then you eat the meat. It's a very like consecutive thing, one right after the other. If it's a right arrow, then it's alternating. And this is eating one food and then switching to another, which allows your body to process each food fully before moving on. And this could also be a little snackier of just like, I'm having a little bit of this, I'm having a little bit of that. You know, they might not like leftovers so much, they have to switch it around a bit more.
And this whole process is so obviously the beginning caveman version. Killed a deer. What are you going to eat? Deer. How long? Until the deer's gone, you know. And then of course there was always foraging, because once we were standing upright, we became omnivorous quickly. I'm not sure how quickly, to tell you the truth. We might have been omnivorous. We were omnivorous well even before that. But
I think we were first would be like what herbivore and then eating meat. But then it was with the invention of fire and being able to cook meat, then we can get way more calories in at a time. And that caused a lot of brain development because you weren't constantly foraging for like nuts and stuff like that. Whereas,
yep.
you can get a lot more. So fire. Anyway.
So you can see why you have just one thing at a time. And then you had another thing. And then the alternating part, again, there was no alternating back in caveman time because we didn't have the rightness. So this is for us now, post 1781. Back when they were doing it, it was just consecutive. You found a patch of berries, you ate the whole patch of berries. You didn't leave a perfectly good patch of berries when you could consume every one of those calories and give them to your kids and your little clique, right?
Plan.
You devour the whole thing. So it was truly consecutive with very little alternating, some, but not a lot. It's now that we're more evolved, it is now gets onto the alternating, and it is sort of mix it up. But you can really experiment with this if this is your dietary regimen, your determination, because if you're right alternating, then you'll find out how separate do I truly have to keep my food. Hey, some mashed potato fell in with the sweet potato. Maybe those two things go together. You'll find out. You'll find out slowly but surely. But always start from a baseline in your experiment of being absolutely rigid about one thing at a time, and best you can try and break it down to even just one ingredient. That's going to sound hard to do, but I have my potatoes, and then I'm going to put some salt on my palate after the potatoes, and then that's a little bit crazy, but some people may want to experiment to that degree because it's one thing at a time.
Just to
Blueberries.
see.
Well, there was no salt to put on your thing, while
Back
you ate
when.
it. It was just thing, and you had to eat it. And then if you came across a salt rock somewhere, everyone stood around and licked it. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah.
So that's the definition of alternating and, consecutive coming forward into our time is try to keep the stuff truly as separate as possible. What about a shepherd's pie, Dan? I don't know.
It's
You
your
tell me.
experiment.
This isn't my determination. I do know that Ra would always say a shepherd's pie might not be the best thing.
Mhm.
But that sounds so crappy because I bet you a lot of people like it. You know what I mean? Their favorite stew with everything in it. It's, pizza. Eat the cheese and then the crust, what? It's so experiment with this. And if it's one thing at a time, let it be one thing at a time, whether it alternates or is consecutive. So if you have pizza and breadsticks are separate and there's a salad, eat the whole salad. Stop. Eat your pizza. I realize it's a bunch of ingredients, but whatever. And you will see the more you do it, the more you clear up, your cognition will change. And so won't your health. This leads to health and robustness and resilience, even at the cellular level. So I've been doing it a long time, and I'm pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my boyfriend has alternating appetite, and it's been interesting being with him as he's been experimenting and playing with it. And that he never liked when there's too many ingredients and things. He never had an understanding of why, but he doesn't like too many ingredients. But he likes some mixing. Where it's like
Right,
he can have pizza and have some pepperoni on that and some cheese, and that's fine. But don't start adding like onions and sausage and mushrooms and too many things, or he's like, and he'll kind of just freak
right.
out. But he's learned what amount of mixing he can do and what is too much. And yeah, he doesn't like
He
leftovers.
naturally didn't have a pile of things all mixed up.
No.
Naturally, he was, because I do. I'll mix it all. I'm like, this is a great meal. I love, turkey. Oh, but the mashed potato, love mashed potatoes. Cool. Stuffing, love stuffing. That's great. Corn. Next
Yeah.
thing you know, it's all in one giant thing to make it easy and calm for me. And
Yeah.
by the way, touch is part of the way of that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And with him, he doesn't like leftovers like the day after. He needs a couple days before he can eat some of the leftovers. So I just eat the leftovers. And
wow.
yeah, that's totally the thing. He doesn't want to eat the same thing day after day. That'll like mess with him. He needs to switch it up. And the other thing I've noticed is he will almost always leave a little bit of something on his plate, like every single time. And old me, growing up with like immigrant family where you like finish everything on your plate, like I would have been annoyed of like, why can't you finish everything on your plate? Why not just take less? And I'd like start game and I was like, oh, it's like he's done. He needs to switch into something else. And that's just part of his way, is like he doesn't finish his plate always. And I
So
tend to.
his determination, you said, is right, alternating.
Alternating, yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
those are
So
like some
that last
fun ones.
little crumb was his way out. He'd alternated the last one. What is that? I actually I don't fully understand that. I bet you it's a thing.
Yeah, it was just things that I noticed. So I figured I'd throw in a little things, pepper in from different friends and loved ones of what I've noticed with their determination as they've played with it.
Well, the name might give a clue because appetite is just that. The appetite part of what happens when you're this first color, wait till you have a hunger and an appetite.
Yeah.
Don't just eat. In fact, that's going to be true for for basically all the colors to one degree or another, but this one definitely, because they couldn't eat when there wasn't something. You know what I mean? They had to
Yeah.
have it and kill it and eat it or forage it. And so it was the juices like a dog. The dog gets all crazy. You're about to feed it. Now you've been feeding it for the past 10 years. There's no doubt you're going to put some real good stuff in this bowl and water, but still they circle around and they get all this crazy. They have to do that. That's part of getting their juices flowing in their
Yeah.
digestive system. And so it's the same thing here. Wait till the juices in your digestive system are telling you hunger and appetite. And suddenly, just so you know, this will pick for you the thing you're about to the things you will consecutively eat or alternatingly eat is a thing, because the appetite is a directional guide. My appetite wants X, it wants this. And so if you wait till you're hungry, you'll start to see that, 2-minute long open refrigerator blank stare thing doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's like he almost has to like stumble upon what he has an appetite for. I'm like, what can I make for you? Can I cook you some stuff and you can take it for lunch? Like I would like to cook more for you. And he's like, I don't know. And it's like he can't tell me in advance kind of what he wants in a sense. So it's been this kind of funny thing. Like, I want to make more food for you, but it's almost like he has to find it himself, or when that appetite comes upon him.
Yeah, you know what? That just goes to show what I'm referring to. He doesn't really know. His appetite is going to tell him. The chemistry will tell him, just like everything else.
Yeah.
Remember, people, this is our chemistry, which is embedded and created through the genome. So it's a beautiful thing. Yep. The hunter moves to the gatherer.